How's it going, guys? Back with another video on the 87 Honda Prelude Si. Today we're going to be installing a cold air intake. I'm also going to be getting rid of a lot of vacuum lines that run to the intake system. On the last video, I relocated the battery to the trunk, so I guess you could call this a part 2 of making the engine bay look a lot cleaner. So these are the things we're going to be needing for this install. Got a couple pliers for the hose clamps, a 10 millimeter, got another one on the gun there. Gonna need a flathead as well as a Phillips. Then I'm also going to be installing these fancy hardware bolts. We're going to need a valve cover breather. Then I got some hose for a coolant line I have to redo. We've got some vacuum plugs here. I went and got this kit from Amazon. I want to say it was like 12 bucks. Then we got the cold air intake right here. This is actually off like a D16 Y7 with the intake that comes up like that. And here we got the rest of the clamps and different stuff. So yeah, let's get right to it. So I want to show you guys this whole stock air intake system. It comes off of here from the fender and it goes back into that air intake box. That's where the actual filter's at. Then from here, from the throttle body, it goes right back into that box. So first thing I'm gonna do is take all this apart, and then we'll see what we could get rid of. So first I'm gonna start with taking off this intake tube. This one comes off pretty easily. There's that. Then I can start removing those bolts here. And that's the whole intake box. These are all the vacuum lines that go to it. And there's some more on the other side. So now I can take these bolts off and then I'll get started on removing this whole intake system. I'll remove this ground while I'm at it. Okay. Take the vacuum lines off. Okay. See if I can get this popped out. Okay. Okay, well that just came off of there. There's that tube. Now I just pop this off. So once I got that off, this intake box is just holding on by posts down there. You can see it's already kind of loose. Pop this off. One more down there. That's the air box cover. And here's where the filter goes. And then pop this other box off. And there goes the whole box. Now I'm gonna be left with this here, but I'm thinking about putting some sort of little intake on there. I might put another breather, but I'll figure it out. So with all that removed, as you guys can see, there's a lot more room to be used here. I think I'm gonna get rid of this charcoal canister line here that runs down to the charcoal canister right there. I might just put a plug on that side as well, right there, and then I could get started removing this whole bracket here. And then that coolant line that I'm gonna get rid of is that one right there that runs to the manifold right there. So let's do that. So in order to remove the charcoal canister, I have to remove this box here first. So I'm gonna go and do that. It's just two 10 mils. Pull this out of the way. I might have to pop this plug off. So to remove the charcoal canister, I need to remove this line here. Is that one? And I'll need to pull this one off. Okay. And I could just pull it up. And then this does have this vacuum line that runs to this bundle of lines here. So I've already tested it out before, and if I disconnect this, it literally makes no change. So just go and pop it off there. Then I could pull this whole thing out. So this is what the charcoal canister looks like. All it does is that it takes the fumes from the fuel tank coming from here and the intake, and basically filters it out here, and then puts it out through the bottom. This comes out through like the to the back of the fender. But yeah. So then now I use my plugs. Put one here. Another one here. And then this is the vacuum line that ran to it. So I'll just take it out from where it connects over here. And I'll put a plug there as well. Cool. So these other lines that ran to the intake system, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut back over here. And I've already tested the car beforehand, so I know those lines that run into there don't make a difference of how the car is running. So then I could just go ahead and put this back together. So now I'm gonna mount this back up. And also in a later video, I'm gonna be showing what lines I need and what lines I don't. So I'm trying to get rid of this whole PGMF5 box. This is basically for the program fuel injection. And in here, there's like a bunch of little air valves and solenoids. So I'm gonna be trying to tuck all of these hoses away and only keeping the ones that I actually need for the car to run right. So yeah. Put this back on. Okay, so now I can go ahead and take this bracket off that holds the line that went to the intake tube. It goes to the valve cover. I'll put the breather on here, and then I'll start working on this coolant hose right here that runs to the manifold right there. That coolant hose runs back to right here. So let's do that. So first off, I need to take this bracket off here. Then I could remove this hose clamp. I'll pop this off. Then I'll remove that hose clamp. That's the coolant line there. Okay. And this car hasn't been started in a good while, so there shouldn't be any coolant in here. There might be a little bit. So let me pull that off. Okay, that's off there. And then that coolant light runs right there. So I'll remove these two hose clamps, then I'll pull this right off, and then I'll start running my new coolant hose from here all the way back here. So now I could remove this hose clamp and pull this whole bracket off. Might have to twist it a little bit. Okay, let's try that. There we go. So now I could kind of put it on there and measure it up to see where I'm going to cut it. Okay, cut it around right here. Let me do that real quick. So now that I got it cut out to the length that I want, got some new hose clamps on there, I can go ahead and reinstall it. Okay, so I got that hose put in place. This one was a little harder to get to, but I was able to get it. Now I could put this air breather on. Okay. Yeah, that already looks a lot better. Okay, now comes the harder part. So like I said, this intake's actually for a D16Y7. And on those, the intake comes up through here and it would fit like right here. So now I gotta measure it out and see where I'm gonna cut it. I have to clear this little, I think this is a cruise control bracket. So it's gonna have to be, I'm gonna cut it as well right here. So it could come out like this. So yeah, let me measure that up and then we'll start cutting. Okay, so I got it all measured up and I wrote a line here where I'm gonna cut. So let's go and do that. So I got this piece cut out. I got it deburred as best as I could. So this is the way I'm thinking it's gonna come out. So this is gonna be the throttle body over here, then it's gonna come back. I was gonna cut it here so it could kind of angle back, but I'm gonna end up cutting it here and then just putting the filter on this side, and so it could just angle right back. So it is now the next day. It was getting a little late last night, so I decided to call it. We're gonna get right back to it. So I'm gonna cut down this mark. Okay, so this is the one I just finished cutting out. Got the corners pretty good. Deburred it as best as I can. This is the one I cut out earlier. So, and now it's gonna go like this way. So let's go put that on. That one. I'm gonna put this tube on next. See the hose clamp in there. put this one on. All right. That one right there. Now I can start tightening the clamps down. Okay. That one good. Okay. Now these air filters are kind of cheap, so when I get the chance, I'm gonna upgrade to like a K&N style cone filter. But yeah, this is just gonna be for right now, temporary. So these are the other brackets I was telling you guys about. I think in the Y7 it has like a spot right here that holds onto the intake. So you would like basically loop this part in between the hose clamp, and then you would attach this to wherever you want, and then you would just bolt it down. But mine's pretty solid for right now, so I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. So this is that other vacuum junction, I guess you would call it. As you can see, it gets air from here and it just plugs right into the big box. I'm gonna just put this filter right here. This is off my mini bike, but it'll have to do for right now. So I'm just gonna pop it in. And then I'll just zip tie it up against this bracket here, and it'll be sitting right there. So yeah. So it's time to do the finishing touches. I'm going to be installing these fancy hardware bolts. So let's start with this first one. I think I'm actually going to just remove all the ones that I'm going to do, and then I'll just go ahead and install them. So now I'm gonna just run them down with this T25. Then after that, I could finish tightening them up with this Allen wrench. So let's do that.
bro.
So I guess the only thing left is to show you guys that it actually runs. So let's start it up. Okay, see, it started and it's running pretty smooth. There you have it. So that's basically it for the cold air intake install on the Prelude. A couple of reasons people might want to do the cold air intake is for performance. On these older Hondas, the cold air intake can only go so far. They don't make too much of a difference other than the sound, and your pedal might feel a little bit more responsive. But on the last video, we relocated the battery to the trunk, so I guess you could call this a part 2 of making the engine bay look a lot cleaner. We got rid of the old air box, the whole stock air intake system, which took up a huge amount of room. So we got that out of the way. Next, I might be doing like the rest of the vacuum hose tuck. So we'll see what we do there. But yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.